Well, hello and welcome to All My Art and Soul. I'm Michelle Holden, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share and hit that bell so you get notified. I have a new video that comes out every Sunday, and pretty soon, once I get back to it, I will be hosting weekly tutorials behind the scenes that are different that you do not see on YouTube in my Facebook group. So don't forget to sign up, join, and new stuff is on its way. Okay, so this week, what turned out was a composition, a quadrant composition. I started it, as you can see, just with the remnants of the previous palette. I love to use, I always have, maybe I'll use less paint in the future, but this is what you can do when you have extra paint. Roll it on some paper, put it on the next page or two so you have a start. You've activated your page. And so what grabbed my attention, this is what I was thinking, my first intention of this page is I really loved I could see the quadrant, the composition there. So I thought, yes, that's what I want to do. That was easy. And I love the marks I made, both with a brayer and a catalyst wedge, the toothed catalyst wedge. I can't show you. You've seen different videos with me using them. Any kind of thing, a credit card with tooth, a comb, and the upper right hand corner, and that's how I made those marks. And I just do 3 or 4 marks, and what's happening is I'm pushing myself towards simplifying and getting that busyness out of my pages, but yet harnessing the layering and the transparency. Oh, I love it. So my colors this week are cadmium. I have my list here. Cadmium orange hue, yellow oxide, Payne's gray, and a little bit of quinacridone, quinacridone red. No, quinacridone magenta. That's what it is. And what I love to do is find, and when I'm using a certain bright color that I don't usually use, I always like to find a piece of collage, as you can see them under there, that has some of that color, maybe subtly with black, with white, with the value changed, and that echoes through the piece, but in a different way. So then here we are with differences. Here's a lid, and it's a slight pink to it, and I started, you know that usually I like to finish that off. I thought, well, no, let's not do it at the end. Let's do it at the beginning this time. And I knew that this stamp tool made very thin lines, and I really liked that. And as you can see, when I put at the beginning, when exploring, there are no rules. Try to get away from rules. And it's taken me quite a while. Because in this mindset of exploring, you can't really explore unless you start letting go of things that the shoulds and you know all of that, and start doing things that, ooh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I should do it. Okay? And this is why I'm working with bright colors, even though, oh, you know, I really want that. Well, you know what? Yeah, we do. That's maybe a series. But right now, I want to build as much different experiences I can and build my, you know, my filing cabinet of mark making, color, shape, and things are just beginning. It's amazing how this is not an overnight thing. And if anyone has anything to say about that, please leave a comment below the video to maybe start a discussion, or come on in the Facebook group and share some of the amount of time that has taken. So, you know what? Some people just jump right in, go running. That is awesome. But we are all different. Now, as you can see, you'll wonder there is specific reasons why I put things under things or over things. I love to have, now, knowing that, hindsight, right? I could have put that piece of transparent collage up there where those horizontal wavy lines are, and that would have shown through. Either or, but for some reason I wanted to continue that mid area of black. So this is a not like an old credit card, you know, all those payment cards or whatever, old cards that you get, cut in half, because on a journal page, it's smaller. And I really like just flicking the shapes. I used to do that, or I do that regularly with a paintbrush, and but I didn't want the thick paint left behind like a paintbrush did with my dashes. So this time I wanted to use it thin. And what was under there? Oh yeah. So I was thinking, but as you can see, there's already enough black on this page. And so you can catch yourself, okay, you're in this black mode and now you're searching around the page. And then you have to just step back for a moment and go, oh, but it's not really a thinking thing. It's a feeling thing. And that's what this intuition process is all about. So we're learning to let go, play, without worrying about all of these, the principles and the elements. Of course, we need to have some basic understanding about them, but just learning to just have fun. And I was having this discussion with another artist friend of mine, and we both agreed if it turns around and you're not having fun, it's just step away, take a break. There's something in your mindset or something that has shifted. So you need to regain that fun in order to discover your authentic voice as an artist. And I'm still on that path. Maybe I'll always be on this path. I never thought of that, but you know what? That's okay, because it's really fun. Now, of course, here I put that little piece of collage on top of one of those areas of paint that still wasn't dry, but since it is the parchment tracing paper, which is quite tough, but very thin, so I'm really liking that. It's very durable when you put it down, and look how transparent it is once it melts into the page with the medium. That is a heavy-bodied, high-gloss medium. I like both, especially if I'm using a more delicate paper. I like to use the just regular gloss medium. And there's that subtle, yes. Oh, so I sprayed with alcohol, and I got a new bottle of it. I was out. The Payne's Gray, that was mixed with a lot of water, and it just creates such a watercolory but very thin, transparent. And I don't know if I've shared, I was a watercolor landscape painter. That's how I started, and moved away from that just because I just needed a shift from representational painting. Love abstract, and even semi-abstract, landscapes or whatever, but not really getting too. If you recognize something too much, then I change it and shift it. Anyway, using the pastels here, and knowing if you can also scribble, and I haven't done that enough. a whole bunch of pages, collage, or even on the page at first. And then when you put the acrylic paint on top and scrape it away, it really reveals some really nice bright colors. Say if you're going to use black, like I love to use, and then carve it back. That's always so interesting. But during a page, we don't always remember these things, and that is why it's so good to keep your notes on the other side of this, on your opposite page of your book, and that's what I like to do. Loving the orange and the pink. There's so many different versions, though. There's light pastel versions of orange and pink, and here's my dots. I just love these. I'm thinking I like more organic kinds of marks rather than the geometric or those rhombuses that I use. They're they really are powerful because I guess the contrast is so high, especially if you're going to use black. So I thought I'd bring some of that yellow. You can use yellow ochre or yellow oxide. Remember, your colors don't have to be the same. You can choose a nice pink or a red or a yellow and a blue. Now, here's the corrugated cardboard, which I love that it's building more paint on it. And it just so unexpected. The unexpected mark, I find, is the most exciting. Now, as you can see, I'm counteracting and balancing the small yellow square on the left with the mostly yellowish in the upper quadrant. And then I'm going to bring in, I always keep a page just to lift any extra paint because it dries much more quickly. And now here's a solid piece, but it's a little big. It's a little too close to the side, so I shrunk it down and just wanted to fill in. Yes, that's a perfect little spot. Now, of course, I forget the direction and put it the other way, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm finding a page comes together, or I'm realizing I'm more present during the process when it just happens. It's just so smooth, and there's not a lot of hesitation, pausing. Of course you're going to have pausing, but long pauses. Now that's a piece from an old magazine, and I just love it. Science magazines, those are fun. Depends what diagrams you can get. Of course, maps. I've got a whole new, so stay tuned. I don't know if any of you watch my shorts on Instagram, and I have put some up, but sometimes I don't remember to also bring them up to the YouTube channel of the new collage papers that I've been making. So I can't wait. I haven't gotten started on those, but it's going to be fun. And of course, with a simple palette. So this is a simple palette, even though the colors are bright. And maybe that's why it comes together so nicely. And as you can see, I just decided, okay, I want some white here somewhere in some form. So there is a little pink there in the white just because it got mixed in. And as you can see also on the left, I'm looking for a stencil because right now you just have you can see the 4 quadrants quite clearly. At least one of them needs to be a little more different from the rest, from the 3. And so number 5 was I just love the shape of this number, and using a makeup sponge with some nice thick black paint, and that's why the edges turn out really nice and crisp. It's a very matte black. And then it just needs a little bit of drying. And while I'm drawing the page, you can see the pink in the bottom, and there's some pink and the diagonally across, the black in the upper with the black in the bottom, and you can see all the different layers starting to happen. And that 5 was just another initial layer on top of that quadrant, on top of the pink, on top of the transparent collage, on top of the dots, on top of the black. So there's 5 layers here at least. So now I'm drawing up the 9 dots just because they're thick, because I did them with my finger, and then I do go over them again with a cleaner white, and I really like that. So and then of course getting that rhythm and movement around this shape with a Posca marker just lets your eye follow around. And you know me with my dots, I just love dots, dashes, and circles of many different sizes, organic circles, and combining them in many different ways. Notice the piece of neutral collage in the upper right hand corner, along with, the Payne's gray that I put over that brighter yellow really neutralizes it. So if you want to calm down a color, you can use the opposite of its color. There's, cool, warm, whatever. So opposite of yellow or orange, I use blue, and it does a really nice job. And I added a lot of water, so almost like a watercolor treatment. So I'm putting in some more orange. No, not orange. I'm using my fun uni ball gel markers, and I'm loving gold next to the orange and black and ochre. Love. And I think in the fall, so since it's September, I do tend to use more ochres, and you just respond to your environment. And I thought, let's have some vertical lines coming down in between those wavy lines. I noticed I didn't really utilize those, but I did put the pink over there, the 2 vertical rows of pink dashes. So I think that's enough without covering the whole thing. You see, so you're just changing the surfaces and inviting the viewer to, oh, wow, look at that, what's under there? And here comes my sprinkles, which I love. So I chose black this time. Really looks nice because of the black feel. And that's it. I could have done more, but I don't think so. I didn't want to overcrowd the page, and it has enough to say. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video of quadrants on a page using a simple palette and using numbers and transparent layers. So here comes the big reveal with the removal of the tape. And I notice when I do put the medium around the edge where the tape goes, just to avoid any tearing, it's easy to wipe away the bleeding from the very watery Payne's gray that I used in that upper left-hand corner. So here we are. Explore, play, and discover for September 3rd. Black, orange, pink, transparent layering, using a simple palette. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified for my weekly ones. More to come, and I will see you in the next video.